This is similar. That's what I said, Ashish. Emotions will never be out of fashion. Be it 18th century, 1920. If your story has that emotion, believe me, it will stand the test of time. Rithu is one such film I'm very proud of. When I read the script, Sham sir had given it to me in English. I read, and the moment I read, I told Sham sir, this is the first time in my life I'm feeling bad for not knowing a language or not able to speak a language fluently. It is that good, the script. And I said, sir, this film will stand test of time. And it will. Believe me, after 30 years also, Rithu will be relevant.
First of all, congratulations, Shankar and Nishan. Your film has been to Cannes, and proud moments.
It's celebrating the youth of India that is going to make India and Asia the next influencer worldwide.
So I think you should start from that experience, talking to the audience about the Cannes experience.
Yeah, I'll ask Nishan first. Nishan, how does it feel when we were making this film at the peak of the pandemic, when we were shooting this?
First wave.
The first wave. I remember he had asked me, "You're sure you want to do this film?" I said yes. He said, "Then I'll do it."
Even I asked him to picture bana lega na, and bana ke release kar dega, and he was damn sure. And it's all his hard work, his vision. I just had to be there, listen to him. And
Nishan bhai, the laurels and accolades and thanking comes later. So how does it feel that Alpha Beta Gamma this year is probably the one amongst the two Hindi films that has been screened at Cannes? The first is, of course, Rocketry. Rocketry is released in Hindi, Tamil and English.
It was premiere there.
Only solo Hindi film at Cannes this year. How does it feel? You tell me, Shan bhai. Batao. Kaisa lag raha hai?
To be honest, it was surreal, the experience. I remember when Shankar messaged me, May first week, right? Suddenly he said, "Bhai, apni film Cannes chali gayi." And I was like, "Cannes chali gayi?" They're like, "Yeah, select ho gayi." And I could not believe. And I was like, it took me time to register things. After a day or two, then when the tweet came from the Home Ministry and all those things came, and then I slowly started realizing, and more than me, people around me, like my sister, she was like, "Anna, aap kya kapde pehnoge Cannes mein?" I said, "Kapda chhod, pehle ye." But it's a big thing. Matlab, everyone was then slowly, I was able to register it and understand it's actually a very big thing. Considering from where we started, for us, completing the film only was like a dream. All thanks to Shankar, the way he managed and he made the film in the pandemic with literally no budget in our hands. So, and I had one faith in him. I told him, "Shankar, if you make this film, if the film is complete, believe me, it has its own destiny. It will run, because we have 100 reasons why this film can't be made. If it is made, that means it's God's will and it will run." And thankfully, fortunately, God listened to us, and this movie is Cannes was, मुझे लगा एक दो festivals होंगे. If he was a big thing for us when it was selected in the Indian panorama, that was a big thing. Cannes, it was like, it's like a dream come true. What else, yeah?
Shankar, how was that experience?
I don't get to ask the questions now. No, I'm done. You ask the question. No, so rightly how he said. So when we started the movie, all right. So I'll tell you how it began. So me and Menka Sharma, we are partners. We are partners in our production house also, Choti Film Productions that made this movie, right? So what happened was that one day she said, "I have an idea." She woke up and she said, "I have an idea," and she gave me the idea. I said, "This is a phenomenal idea," and I took a week, okay, and I wrote something. I wrote a script and I shared this with her. She said, "This is amazing. I love it." For the next 2 weeks, we again worked together on the script. We made some changes, and everybody, I mean, the near and dear one, he said, "Hey, हम लोगों ने film लिखी है, इसको हम कैसी लग रही तुमको ये film?" And they all said, "It's a very nice film. It's a very nice film. तो तुम लोग ये कब बनाओगे?" हम लोग अभी बनाएंगे. तुम पागल हो क्या? I said, "क्या? तो लिखा क्यों है?" He said, maybe ruko, wait for 5-6 months, let COVID settle down and all of that happens. I said, no, we have to make it now. We want to make it now, that's why we have written it now. All right. And everybody's like, are you serious? I said, yes, we are serious. So all of us kind of got together. We were 3-4 people. And then the script was ready. And we said, we banana hai picture. And then, and about Nishan, okay, so Nishan is my senior from FTI. Okay. And, and he's a very successful actor. And this is my first movie, all right. So I thought, so I had this particular character in the movie, and this Malayali guy. There are only 3 characters in the film. Okay, there are 2 guys and a girl. So just about the 3 of them. So they're all lead. So they're all lead characters. They're all lead actors in the movie. It's like that. So when I said, "Yaar, Kina," so I remember. So I was looking on the internet. I remember. I said, "There's a senior. He had won the National State Award in Kerala for Rithu." I said, "Ye to nahi karega meri film. Ye to nahi karega. He will not do it." Is what I was thinking. So one of my friends, she's the chief AC on the film. So she said, "एक बार बात तो करते." So I remember she called him up at 12 o'clock in the night. She called you, right? So she called up Nishan at 12 in the night. And she said, listen, there is a film. And he said, okay, fine. What's the story like? I want to speak to the director. The next day I called him. And we spoke for an hour on the phone. And he said, you send me the script. I sent him the script. He said, I like it. I love it. He said to come meet me. I said, is this happening for real? I said, I'm familiar with KP Nishan. He has agreed to do my film. And I go and meet him. And we meet in a park. COVID times. I sit in a park with him. And he doesn't say anything. He just says, "Tu picture bana lega," like he says. "Pakka bana lega na tu picture." मैंने कहा हाँ बना लूँगा picture. पक्का मैं कहा हाँ पक्का यार picture बना लूँगा मैं. तो फिर done. Let's do this film. And and since that day onward, I got everybody on board. Nishan was there, Amit was there, Reena, the actress. We found her. I don't know, and believe me, at every step, if I start telling you the story, it's how there was nothing was planned. We just kept finding, one diamond after the other, and then we managed to make the whole necklace. It was like that, and like how he said it was destined to be made. We had all the reasons that why the film couldn't be made, and not one reason stopped us. We shot the film in the scheduled time that we had. We made the film, and then, like I said, I was blessed. Nishan was there, and I had other brilliant actors. They're all there. They all gave me their best. So he keeps on saying it's my effort. But when you have great when you have great actors, the director starts to look great as it is. It's like
nothing like that. He's being modest. He's being nice. But in fact, everyone, right?
Yeah.
Like Mona, she used to cook meals for us, and she used to get meals, and we used to have this rehearsal. Yeah. He had his friend. His friend had lent us his office, right? Yeah, where we would do our rehearsals, and we had rehearsals and it was a very this rehearsal we had for 20-25 days, right?
Yeah.
We had very hardcore rehearsals, and everything our film should be made, and that's what we say, if your intention is right. I always felt this. If your intention is right, God always paves path for you. So people who we got in touch with people who helped us, and that's how film was made.
And strangely, nobody said no to us. This being nobody said no to us. They all said yes.
Without money, nothing.
Nobody said no. They all said yes. They all agreed. Everything happened. And what could go wrong did go wrong, but we still made the film. It was like that. And like he said, like you see, and the journey began, and the laurels started when the film was made. I remember when we first saw the film. So I remember Nishan bhai got up and he said, "Yaar, ye अच्छी film बना ली यार तूने, अच्छी film बना ली तूने." I said, "बस चलो ठीक है, अच्छी film बन गई." And that was that. And then if he happened, I know what it, and they've been happy. I remember the 2nd of November was my birthday. And the 3rd November, I said, "Yeah, something should happen with Alpha Beta Gamma. Something should happen. I just feel it in my bones. Something will happen." And 5th of November, we get a notification from IFFI that the movie is going for the Indian Panorama. So that happened. There also, amongst those 24 films that were there, it was one amongst the only 2 Hindi films. And then once we actually went for the festival, so you can actually sense it, amongst the jury people, the organizers, the selection committee. Alpha Beta Gamma was one of the favorites that they had. They said it's a different kind of film. It's not a festival film. It's still original. It's not in that space. It's still nice.
Subject was also universal, na?
Yeah. So they said it had a very, how should I say, it's a very universal, it had a, like a worldwide feel. It could catch, very relatable for everybody was that thing. And we just had a lot of love coming our way when at IFU also. When we came back, then we said, "Ab kuch aur hona chahiye film ka." Kuch aur. So then I get a notification from NFDC saying we're sending it to Berlinale for at the European film market. I said, "Oh, incredible!" Right. And then of course, then Cannes happened, and Marsha Dukan happened, and then So I've come back, and I'm telling you, for a filmmaker and a young filmmaker like who's one film old, and for that matter, anybody's even made 100 films, See how many people actually have a whole career in films and they go to Cannes, right? So, and for a young filmmaker, it's a dream come true. That place, that exposure, it gives you so much of confidence, As an artist, you feel respected there. You really feel that you belong at this place. Big rich people with the most, best suits, swanky stuff. It means France, the French Riviera, right? It's the most expensive place in the world. They all want to come and speak to you. Who's the director? They want to come and speak to the director. And I'll be honest, like nobody there was interested in anybody else in our team. They all wanted to speak to the director of the film. So I just felt, I said, like, India mein Modi ji hai, or France mein main hu. So it was that amazing, And and of course, and then you get to meet so many people from different countries. You have 130 people from 130 countries that had come there, right? And again, they all wanted to meet the director. It was always that. So they wanted to understand. And so, in fact, I remember even for my screening, we almost had a packed house. And, mostly there were international people who had come to watch our film. I was surprised. Like, the Indian people there who came and saw the film, mostly we had international distributors, international producers, international journalists who wanted to see this film that has come from India. So yeah, and I'm very happy, because I'll tell you something. Somebody actually told me that they said, do Indians make films like this? Somebody actually asked me this.
Seriously?
I said I wanted to make a film about the millennials, the privileged, nice, rich people of the country. India is not some slum. It's not some shithole. It's not dirt on the roads. Progressive people who live life on their own terms, well-to-do people who are intelligent, who are engineers, who are doctors, right? A story about them, how they handle their relationships, how they look at life, how they live every day, right? You know what? You can say we are a third world country, but no, we are probably the second biggest economy in the world today, right? So yeah, so that is, in fact, some people are actually shocked. India mein aisa picture banta hai kya? Somebody actually asked me, "Arey yaar, aapki film mein there's no song and dance in the film." I said no. So there's no song and dance in the film. So that was that, yeah.
Nishan, you have something to ask. In the meanwhile, I'll say, like, you people come from FTI, so did that help? You were more confident, or was it a fear factor? Okay, you are coming from a premium institute, so the film should have that quality. So how was it?
I'll speak for myself. FTI played a great part because, believe me, if I wasn't from FTI, I don't think I would have done this film. Not because of anything. To understand what is written beyond the words. It's like from FTI when you come, I'll tell you, I was in FTI for 2 years. So at the same time, my other batchmates were doing MBA from other business institutes there in Pune. So I thought one day I'll go and spend in their hostel. So I went there, I spent a night there. And believe me, all they were talking about was, obviously they will talk about their field of interest. They were talking about shares, acquisitions, market. I was listening. After 5 minutes, I got bored. It was only money, money, money. Now I realized in FTI, we never discussed money. Even though filmmaking is a business, we never discussed. We discussed only cinema, short kaisa hai, which country, who's making what kind of... Just films, music. So for us, it is like script is sacrosanct. It's the utmost. मतलब अगर script say anything for cinema, there's one line in FTI, they say anything for cinema. Even while ragging, even when you rag, they'll say anything for cinema, and then we'll say yeah, anything for cinema, and then anything for cinema is there in our blood in FTI. So when Shankar came to, obviously because he was an FTI junior, आप वो interest लेते हो, and what I read, the things beyond the word, like Shankar, beautiful thing he said, केवी भाई, I have written the script, ठीक है, अब इस लेवल की फिल्म तो बनेगी. I want people, actors, technicians to take the film to another level, to understand the deeper meaning of behind the verse, behind relationship, and this is what we are taught in FTI, and I could see that in that script. Otherwise, यार लॉकडाउन में जान खतरे में डाल के, you know how the film was. If I was a filmy person, I wouldn't have given that much of a thought. क्या रहने दे यार, कौन उतना मेहनत करेगा. But because I was from FTI, I think I believed in the script, believed in the director, his passion, his vision. It's just sixth sense. I like the script, and I was like, "Is ladke pe, let's believe what I'm sure he's going to." Ek sixth sense hota hai. When you meet a person, when you talk to a person for some, and when your vision and that person's vision of cinema matches, then what you are thinking that person is saying, you are in right hands. ठीक है, बाद में a film can be a hit or a flop. That's not in our hands. But all I knew was, if the film is made, it will be a film that I would be proud of. I can show it to my kids or even grandchildren after 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. This is the film I worked on, and it will stand the test of time. Believe me, I'm saying it now, but this film will stand the test of time because relationships is always the same. Be it 1950s, 40s, 2000, 3000, next maybe saal aayenge. This relationship will not change. Technology will change, but human human connection, it will remain the same. We'll behave the same way. So I think this film will stand the test of time.
Shankar, your take on the FTI background.
I'll start from where he left. Okay, so first he said that. So first of all, so what the hit or flop thing? Okay, I don't think anybody in the world can guarantee whether a movie will be a hit or a flop. Okay, the best of directors, art house or wherever, commercial, whatever category you might slot them in, or producers, nobody can, actually say that this will be a hit or a flop. Everybody wants to do a successful film, right? That is one part. Secondly, about FTI, right? So you know what is Goa, right? What is Goa? When you go to Goa, what happens? You come back a changed person. You live in Delhi, you live in Hyderabad, you live in some city, and then but in Goa there is a life in Goa. It has its own texture, own color, own flavor, and it has a vibe to it, right? So FTI, is a world of its own, all right.
We call it Planet FTI.
It's Planet FTI, exactly. So my 2 years in FTI, I don't even have any other friends outside the campus. I never made any friends outside the campus because I was so engrossed in the campus, right? And like how Nishan rightly said, all we discuss. We watch 3 films a day. We discuss movies. We praise movies, we bitch about movies, we talk cinema, we eat cinema, we shit cinema, right? We'll talk about how this actor has done this bit. We'll talk about how, how this shot was beautiful, how this film is made, or the journey of this particular movie. Forget discussing money and cinema. We don't even know about each other, okay, what family background we come from. All we discuss is movies, mostly, right? And then, when you live in that air, what happens is there is a lot of freedom of thought that you get. There's freedom of thought. You're not bound by so many things. There is no time to it. So this informal, formal culture of FTI, that gives that freedom, to actually bloom. You need to find a footing. I remember. So basically, I was an acting student. I was Nishan's junior, right? But what FTI taught me was that I don't want to be an actor. My love for movies was because I loved watching movies. I thought if I become an actor, this will be a part of my life. No, I realized that making movies is a part of my life. So when I used to do the small student projects in FTI, I used to act. Okay, so they'll make me act. then I'll wonder. I say, "Yari, these guys are having a lot of fun, all of them. They're behind the camera, they're discussing something. And after 10 minutes, I do a shot. Then again, I wait for 10 minutes. Then what is this? What are they doing?" So what I learned in FTI was I really want to make films, And then you have so much of knowledge from the books, the education. Plus, it's all in the air, like it's not anything. The cinema is in the air. You breathe the shit every day. That's what you do for 2-3 years there. And by the time you're out, like for example, like see, like on a film, like even on a film set, like what an FTI, we all know everything that we can do. Like I know bits of editing, I know bits of.
You have a common course in first year.
We all have, we so you're actually we are complete that ways, at least in terms of our education, So even on a set, our work ethic. So when I met Nishan and I told him this is the movie, he understood what I was talking about, right? To a lot of students, actors who have not gone through that training, who do not have that exposure, it's very difficult to actually explain the merit of a script to them or explain a scene to them. Like I actually told him this. I said, see, the script, you like the script is written. Itni to hum bana hi lenge. Lekin now, where will you guys take it is the game. So these things, this is the idea to excel, to add more, and to look at the film holistically as it is your film, right? Like Nishan will ask me, kaisa shot hai? What is the shot you're going to take? What's this? So everybody knows, it's a very collaborative process that way. So it's more of, how should I say, everybody kind of comes together. There's a lot of more synergy in it. And because you have that certain background, you kind of connect on a certain level, at least intellectually, I will say. So yes, so that kind of, that basic training, that basic, work ethics that you have, they really help you go the distance, And one thing I'll add, at FTI, you get to know yourself. So so when you are doing something which is not up to the mark, which is something average, so you are true to yourself. This is not good enough. So you know when to push yourself. So you understand that. It helps you get a measure of your own capacities. That's something very, very major that I have seen in FTI, And that's why, and look at Nishan. I mean, I remember working with him on the film, before the film, during the workshops, the sessions, it was a breeze. Like, I would say half a line, he'll say, okay, fine, let me do this, let's go. And he would just know what is to be done next. All right. So sometimes I used to, I remember when we were shooting the movie, and I used to be on the monitor. So I would forget, oh shit, there is some acting happening. I said, he's just talking, So I remember there was a small incident. So there was my chief AD, and who was also the acting coach. Her name is Savi Kundra, right? So I asked, she was sitting next to me. So I asked her, I said, Savi, इसे बहुत ज्यादा नेचुरल नहीं लग रहा, थोड़ा ड्रामा ऐड करें क्या? कहती नहीं यार एकदम रियल है. मैं कहा बहुत ज्यादा रियल लग रहा है, ये निशान एकदम मतलब रियल ही कर रहा है. मैंने कहा हाँ लगता ही नहीं, एक्टिंग भी करता है, ऐसा तक कैमरा ऑन हो रहा है तो भी ऐसे बात कर रहा है, बाकी तो मतलब so these experiences that you have, you forget, oh, there is a camera, you forget there is a crew, you forget there are lights. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I mean, of course it's his talent, but then of course there is a certain amount of training also that has gone into it. I don't know. What do you say, Nishan bhai?
Bilkul. I never knew. I never acted. FTI was the first place where I performed, where I learned. I always wanted to be an actor, and I never knew कि कहाँ से शुरू करूँ. And thanks to Ravi Baswani sir, he is no more, God bless his soul. But उन्हीं के वजह से, like, he helped me groom in FTI, and that's how I learned. Before that, I was exposed to commercial cinema, Indian cinema, whatever, Tamil, Hindi, this thing. And in FTI, I learned what actual, like, apart from that, there's another world of cinema, and,
correct.
and how you approach a script and how you approach filmmaking. So whatever I know is thanks to FTI.
So like basically what happens when you go through that training, because we are all exposed to movies, right? As we are born, we all watch television, we watch movies, right? It's the basic source of entertainment in a manner of speaking to families. So you've seen films, you have such impressions of actors acting, movies that are made. So when you get into the film school, there's so much of baggage that you carry. So you actually get rid of all of that baggage. It goes out of the window, and then you are new, you are fresh. You think, oh shit, now what do I do? All I thought, this is what I was supposed to do. Now this is not to be done. So what next?
Unlearn.
Unlearn. So you unlearn, and if you can unlearn and then you find your own self. That is what. See, like people talk about festivals, people talk about Cannes, and people talk about Berlin and IFFI, all these festivals, right? I tell them, what is a festival? It's a celebration, right? It's a celebration of cinema. So you definitely celebrate new things. You don't celebrate old things, right? So it's celebration of new cinema. So originality is one thing, that I think that has to be the core of every artist, be it a director, an actor, a musician, a writer. Originality has to be in your bones in every work that you do, from this project to the other. And if you can find that, and that's what I feel, that how do you find? I always say that everybody wants to be original. Everybody wants to find their own niche, have their own style, or not have a style. But how do you find that originality? That originality you find after you unlearn, after you are a clean slate, and you start finding. And that is what you get at. For us, I think, I'll say for Nishan Bhai also, I think that's what happened to us at FTI, right?
Completely.
Yeah.
So, Nishan, your FTI happened after Rithu, or was it before?
No, before.
Oh, okay. Because when you said that, you had exposure to someone, then I thought, okay, maybe this is how. So this Alpha Beta Gamma, how does it, how did that name come, and something about the film without any spoilers?
I don't know. So how the name? So I'm an engineer. That's my graduation. I'm a BTech. Okay, so I'm a science student, and I have a love for science. I want to make I have an idea for a sci-fi movie. I want to make it one day. When I get those $100 million, somebody will back me. Like Paramount Pictures will say, we'll back this film, right? And we get Nishan to do this part. But until then, so the idea was that. So Alpha Beta Gamma basically says, like, I'll tell you, it's Nishan Bhai, it's your line in the film. I'm saying it for you. So this house. So the idea is about three people stuck in a house in the time of the pandemic. Three people are stuck together in a house. So this house is like a nuclear reactor, and the three of us together is the nuclear reaction, and we are the alpha, beta, and gamma particles. All right. So it's Nishan's line that he says it in the movie, right? It defines the title and the film. Okay, it's a more significant line in a way. So that is how I got the title, just to give it that reference, because Nishan's character, he's this very intelligent engineer, techie. So his references are also like that. Okay, and it's a very simple story. It's about it's about two love stories, three lives, and one house. Okay. So there is a marriage there was a couple that separated a couple of years ago. They moved on. They're both are different people, right? So the wife finds another man in her life. This man walks, and he's a very nice guy. And so she wants to start afresh her life. She wants to get married to this guy again and start a new life. So, of course, but the sad part is, or the tricky part is, the first marriage is not over, as they've separated, but the divorce papers have not been signed. So one fine day, she calls up her husband and she says, listen, I want to take a divorce because I want to get married again. So something inside the husband changes. He gets restless and he lands up at her house. And by that time, her current boyfriend is also there. So he says, oh, listen, both of you talk about this divorce. It gets uncomfortable for the boyfriend. No, so he decides to step out. So he moves out. But in the next 10 minutes, he comes back home because the pandemic has struck and the building is under a lockdown. And the three of them together are stuck in that 1 BHK apartment for 14 days. And now when the ex-husband sees his wife with another man, things go ballistic inside the house. And then what happens is the story. And see, so this is what story-wise, thematically, what the film is. But you know what? My whole idea was the treatment that I had for the film was that I wanted it to be a very, very, very realistic take on our relationships, like it's not very serious, it's not very funny, it's the way life is, it's one of those genres that is, at least I think in our country, is not explored much. Realistic slice of life. So how I say it's like that you don't need jokes to laugh in life, and you don't need dramatic lines to cry also. I mean, life in its very nature has everything in it. You cry, you see, you're smiling right now, right, as we speak. So, but I have not cracked a joke. And if I say something out of the blue which is somber, you will just kind of go low. So life has all the notes in it. So the idea was to somehow explore that spectrum, of how a relationship can go from crazy to fun to happy and sad and one and do that in a minute, and do that in like in a second it can happen. So the idea was to make a very realistic film, slice of life film, and just reflect life as is. So that was the kind of take that I had. In fact, in terms of my treatment also, I remember telling the DOP, his name is Karthik. Again, he's the RFTI junior. So I told him that, listen, I don't want a very cinematic film. Don't give me those nice shots, that production value shots.
Glossy.
I want just how a camera should capture people talking, get their emotion to the people, and that I really want I wanted that the film should almost be like a play. Like you forget there is a movie that you're watching. It should be, there are two people sitting in front and talking to me. So that was kind of my whole take on the film. Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
I can imagine how things are happening in front of your eyes. So interesting. And during lockdown, I think in all languages there were films being shot. Lockdown films, if someone could call that way. Talking about that, how do you look at films from the South?
See, Nishan works in South Indian cinema, so he knows the film, right? I'll talk because I don't make South Indian films. I think they're the most progressive people that we have in the country today. They have the most progressive cinema. Their films are most progressive. That's all I can say. The sheer storytelling, the plots that they choose, sheer like the bravery of choosing topics, right? And the performances, and the lucid, the fluid style of making films, and they have this amazing thing, they can actually do an out and out, stylized movie. At the same time, they can take up a film and do a very basic, simple, realistic film, and they're all engaging, right? And as a director, as a writer, my only kick when I see is originality. That's all that I see in a story always. In a story, in the performances, that's all I see. For the performances, the truth that they carry, and for the story, the originality that it has. And I think South Indian cinema is extremely progressive. Yeah. I mean, they're the best, especially Malayalam films. I think they're the best. They're the best in the country. If you ask, that's my personal opinion. Yeah.
Nishan, you have something. I mean, great. I feel so happy listening to this.
I'm absolutely with him. He's right. Actually, very progressive, risk-taking, and you can see that for yourself. You can see how those films are making money in Hindi also. So there's no doubt about it. Yeah.
I'm a half Malayali, by the way. Yeah.
I wanted to ask, but
I'm not biased.
Okay.
I'm talking purely out of merit. Okay, I'm not trying to pander to my Malayali genes. Not at all. Yeah. So in fact, I'll tell you something. I had a very strange incident. Okay, so my uncle, my dad's eldest brother, he lives in Cochin. Okay, and he's a very big advocate. He's a lawyer, and so he thinks that North Indian cinema is very weak, is what he says. Okay. So when he saw the film, and Ishan Bhai, so he recently saw post scans, he saw it. Huh?
Oh.
So he says, so first he saw the trailer some 3 months ago, and he said there are so many abuses in it. And then he said, I'll not watch this. So after that he saw the film once the Cannes thing happened, after the screening happened at Cannes. And he calls me up and he says, you're wasting your time. You should make Malayalam movies. I said, okay.
चले compliment है यार.
I know. He said, He said, you actually made a film. He said, I'm so proud of you,
Quite interesting. And I think FTI also you have faculties from Kerala. You're
Sir,
familiar.
FTI is filled with Bengal and Kerala people. Half are Bengalis and half are Malayalis. FTI is filled, yeah.
See, I'll tell you something. See, I've lived almost, I've lived in so many places in India, right? What I've come to understand, and I can see all kinds of movies, art house cinema, what people say commercial cinema or whatever. I can watch all kind of movies, and and somehow I like all of them. I can watch any film, okay, any language. So I just feel that somehow there are stories that people tell in every language, right? There is everywhere, we have 37 languages in the country, registered languages in the country, right? Every language have terrific films. Though I think the only thing about like how you said the Keralites and the Bengalis, we get more freedom. They get more freedom there, somehow. Like it's not bound by that commercial factor, like how you're asking me earlier, no? Like tomorrow, and I've had this question. If you go to a big actor today in Bombay, right, and you ask them, will you do my film? It's like let's say 5% chances are that the person will say yes on the merit of the script, and they'll not ask who's the director, what's the production house, what's the budget.
Exactly. Release
But if you go to for example, simply I went to Nishan. He had done 30 films, right? I have just I met him once in the campus that he also doesn't remember the incident. I met him once in the campus. He doesn't have any memory of it. Okay, I was leaner. I had long hair. He might have forgotten me, but I called up this guy and he listens to the film. He says, okay, let's do this film. He did the film for free. He has not charged me 1 rupee for the film, right? The thing is, and he does films in the South. He's done North Indian films also, but so there is a certain, I don't know. And I've heard these so many stories from so many other people, and they've met these big actors, and they listen to the scripts, they listen to the story, and they'll do it. You don't have exorbitant paychecks, because eventually, I feel in these two states that you mentioned, somehow art and cinema is respected slightly more. That's all I feel. Yeah. I mean, no offense meant to any other culture. They're all beautiful people. Every state is great. But yeah, I'm a Hindi speaking citizen. My mother is from UP. I'm proud to be a UP wala, that is. But yeah, but I just think they're more conducive to new ideas and fresher thoughts. They're more brave.
Of course, films like Marathi films and Kannada films and all. I mean, progressing like anything in recent times.
Of course, yeah.
And when are we going to get a chance to watch the film?
That's the big question. So right now, I think most probably the movie is going to Melbourne for another festival. That is one that is happening. And then after that, we'll be applying for the national awards this year for the movie. And we are hoping that we might have a theatrical release this year, but we still didn't talk. The date is not set. But I think this year you will have the movie. You will be able to. जो हिंदी में बोलते हैं ना, आपके नजदीकी सिनेमा घरों में आप जाकर देख सकते हैं फिल्म. In theaters
बहुत जल्द.
Yeah, बहुत जल्द. So we are fingers crossed. And I just say it's a nice film. It's an honest film. I mean, I'm marketing sounding like that, right? No, it's but it's definitely an honest film. Nice, good or bad, let the audience decide. But
Intentions were right.
Yeah, it's an honest film.
You can see the hard work.
Yeah,
that's it. Baki,
that's about it. Yeah. So, Baki, I'll say something. So I've done a lot of television before I got into movie making. I've done a lot of television. So I once wrote these lines. Okay, in Hindi, maybe it will make sense to you. And a lot of my. So after I made this film, so somebody was talking to me. One of my friends in Delhi. So he asked me, "यार कि बहुत मतलब ना, तू एकदम अलग हो गया दिल्ली छूट गई तेरी ना." So and I don't even relate to those people. I live a different life. I think I look at life differently. See, again, FTI, this art, cinema, it changes you drastically. I mean, I mean, when people tell me, like people are meeting me after 10 years, they say, oh, you've changed. So to that, I'll just say this, that it's really अपने सपनों को पाने की कोशिश में पीछे अक्सर बहुत कुछ छूट जाता है. वो दोस्त जो कभी अपने थे, आज अनजाने से लगते हैं. वो रास्ते जिन पर कभी घूमा भटका करते थे, आज पुराने से लगते हैं. You're understanding? You following? Yeah, okay. तो अपने सपनों को पाने की कोशिश में अक्सर पीछे बहुत कुछ छूट जाता है. वो दोस्त जो कभी अपने थे, आज अनजाने से लगते हैं. वो रास्ते जिन पर कभी घूमा भटका करते थे, आज पुराने से लगते हैं. घर लौट कर जाओ तो वो गलियां भूल चुकी होती हैं. घर के अपने कमरे में अब पुरानी चीजें रखी होती हैं. वो कहते हैं अपने सपनों को पूरा करना आसान नहीं होता, पर जो आसान है वो सपना नहीं होता.
वाह.
So this was the spirit that we had when we made the film. This was the spirit. We were 40 people, right? And I say all 40 of us are directors, all 40 of us are actors. We're all 40 people who made this movie possible, in the times of Corona. People are talking, all sorts of bad things about Corona or COVID. We found love in the time of Corona, right?
Which is a title song.
Yeah, and Nishan has danced on it.
With lungi and this thing.
In a lungi, in a black silk satin lungi. Yeah.
Amazing. All the best for the movie Alpha Beta Gamma.
Thank you, sir.
When we talk
Thank you,
about that, please also tell us about their future plans.
So I'll start. So I've been talking to people. So we've done a couple of scripts, right? And I'm hoping to collaborate very soon with Nishan again, right? I mean, he and me have signed, we have signed it here on our hearts for a 3-film deal. He has the other 2 films, and he gets paid, and he'll get paid for the other 2. That's my promise. Hopefully, yeah. So I'm working. I've written a script. I've written actually 2 scripts, and I'm very hopeful of collaborating very soon with Nishan, and a lot of other people that I want to work with. So that is that. Nishan, what are your plans? He's already
nothing.
He's finished a Kannada film recently.
Yeah, one of my Kannada film is about to release. I think it's a July release, and it's called Wedding Gift. And again, there's talks for another film. I think Shankar and I will get together soon again.
We have to.
This is a completely different film. And
an action thriller.
Completely different genre, and I love the faith that Shankar has on me. He's completely giving me a role which I'm not, and which no director has seen me in that kind of a role. And this man is confident that he'll pull that role. And
I'm not
looking at his confidence,
I'm not confident. No, I'm not confident. I know it.
But it's completely not me. And this is what is exciting and challenging, and I'm very excited about that. And hopefully, that should happen soon.
Yeah. You have to go to Cannes again, no?
He's Oscar jayenge, tension.
No, he didn't go this time to Cannes,
Right.
Next time I'll take him.
With Golden Globe bhi hai, Oscar bhi hai, bahut hai.
Yeah. So karna hai apne ko na ye. So
interesting. All the best for Wedding Gift and for the.
Thank you, Ashish. Thank you for.
It's called, by the way, I'll tell you the name. It's called Swapna Sundari, the movie. Swapna Sundari. Yeah.
Again, like Alpha Beta Gamma, the title is very fascinating. Swapna Sundari is nothing like Swapna or Sundari in the film. It is completely action, thriller, Tarantino-ish kind of a film, and hope we'll be able to do justice to this.
Let's see what we pull off. You used a very big name called Tarantino. The man will sue us. The man will sue us if we make a bad film.
The genre is like that. The world is that, and I really hope and pray that we are at least even 50%. We come up to that, match up to that level, right?
I don't know. With people like Nishan Bhai with us, we'll create a new niche. We'll set different levels, different benchmarks. What is that? We are from Planet FTI, okay?
That's it. Bas, wahi ek hai.
So that is that.
I think that should be the title for the conversation. We are from Planet FTI.
Planet FTI,
You can sure call it Love in the Time of Corona.
I was recalling Nishan's role in Rithu when you were, reciting those lines. It somehow resembles the one line of the film, I think.
Ormagal. I remember. Yeah. This is similar. That's what I said, Ashish. Emotions will never be out of fashion. Be it 18th century, 1920. If your story has that emotion, believe me, it will stand the test of time. Rithu is one such film I'm very proud of. When I read the script, Sham sir had given it to me in English. I read, and the moment I read, I told Sham sir, this is the first time in my life I'm feeling bad for not knowing a language or not able to speak a language fluently. It is that good, the script. And I said, sir, this film will stand test of time. And it will. Believe me, after 30 years also, Rithu will be relevant. You will have childhood friends teaching you. You will have your dreams. As a kid, you have some dreams, and then you think your friends will be there with you. Like what Shankar said, those lines. Those friends are no more the same friends. The times have changed. So it's like that, sir. This will never go out of fashion. Emotions.
And I have to tell you this very interesting incident. Okay, I have to tell you this. So our co-producer, right, our partner on the film. So the film is made by Choti Film Productions and a company called Nonsense Entertainment, okay, by a man called Jitin Raj, a very dear friend, our partner today. He helped us complete the movie. He was very instrumental in taking us places. Very instrumental. So that guy is a huge fan of Nishan. So he said, "Are you doing a movie with Nishan?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Can I speak to him on call once?" I said, "Yeah, you can speak to him on call once." Okay. So the fan actually is the producer, one of the producers of the film, Jitin Raj. He's based out of Bangalore, right? And
very sweet chap.
And it was his fanboy moment with Nishan, and he was a huge fan of Rithu. He said, "Have you seen Nishan and Rithu? Have you seen Nishan and Rithu? He used to be so good. He's so good." Right. So after Rithu, we worked with him. The time he met him, he produced him. It was like that. Yeah. So a lot of people are getting their dreams and dues, I believe.
I hope this will also inspire my friend Joshua Newton to write more films like Rithu.
Sir, believe me, I'll tell you, when I read the script, when shooting, obviously Sham sir is a legend. There's no comparison. But there are some films when you act, you feel the connect that I felt during after the reading of Rithu, and then we had the same workshop and then shoot. Similar thing I had in this Alpha Beta Gamma also. I could feel the same connect, sir. And I'm not saying now because film has gone to Cannes. No. I said yes because when after reading the script, I felt the same connect. Rithu is also about 3 people. Obviously, it's directed by Sham sir, is a legend. Shankar is a newcomer. But those emotions, what I'm trying to say. And I felt and I really prayed and hoped, like how Rithu was a grand entry for me into Malayalam cinema, which was God sent. I did not plan, it happened, destiny. Similarly, I wanted this film also to be like a Rithu for me.
And
in the end, believe me, it has happened. Even though it has not released, but the kind of attention and kind of this thing, people loving the film, the way people are loving the film, it is like second Rithu for me.
Yeah.
I'm so happy because Joshua is so close to me. So I know this.
Please ask him to write Rithu 2. There are so many people asking Rithu 2, because you can continue. People are waiting for the characters. So if that happens, great.
Thank you so much. I'm feeling so happy that this conversation happened.
Thank you, sir.
This time, the kind of energy I get from you both, it's like feeling so energized. I don't know what
for your time and for having us here and letting us talk so much.
Exactly.
I wish you good night now and wish you all the best for the future films.
Thank you. Good night, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Nishan bhai, see you soon. Ashish, I'll see you soon.